Ipswich to kick off. St Mary's with first use of it. We're underway here in this quarter-final. St Mary's, they're a famous school in their own right. Plenty of famous names at St Mary's, David Wright. The Pakes boys at the Broncos went there, but a few others as well.
Well, certainly, mate. It's a very proud tradition up there on the Downs, St Mary's, and all the Walker boys went there. Shane, Ben went there, Chris Walker, of course. But some of the greatest known, Tommy Gorman, who was in the team of the century from last century. He's one of the top players that ever played rugby league. So some great tradition here, and they'll be out to give it a really good go. There's a terrific kick to start with for St Mary's. But it's interesting, Drew, we should congratulate St Mary's already because they've been playing in the second tier competition while the Langer Trophy's been on. They've earned the right by winning the G Shield to get into the quarterfinals of the Langer Trophy. So well done by St Mary's, but a big ask today to beat last year's premiers, Ipswich State High School.
And that kick, let's just give it some credit. That was only a whisker away from a 40-20 early on. I like that tactic. They kicked low, avoiding any breeze involvement there, St Mary's. So here come Ipswich. They're going to have to be tactically sound today, St Mary's, if they want to cause the upset. That was David Liotta for Ipswich. Ipswich breaking through under the guidance of Josh Bretherton for their inaugural Allan Langer Trophy win last year. Looking to go back-to-back to St Mary's coach Luke Duggan. 30 metres away here. Ipswich is a new-looking side this year. Isaiah Murphy in the halves today. Wayward pass, backtracking. Good enough to get to it. There was Kaisaya Sua. And wasn't for the ankle tap there. There might have been a bit of trouble there, St Mary's. Ipswich only 25 away, metre in from touch. Brandon Ticker now, or Ticker now I should say. He goes high. Well dealt with there by St Mary's. And we've seen two promising sets of six early on from each side, David Wright.
Yeah, it probably sums up what we could be seeing for the rest of the game, really, that Ipswich State High will be the favourites. They're bigger and stronger and will threaten. But St Mary's will not go away. I guarantee they're going to have a good go here. They've already played well to get into this competition, as I mentioned, and they'll be keen to show that they're worthy of this. And also, Drury, if they can be successful in this final series, they would automatically be promoted into the Langer Trophy for next year because there are promotion and relegation operates for the bottom two teams in Langer Trophy. So all to play for here for both sides, particularly the opportunities with promotion that come for St Mary's.
This would be a luxury. St Mary's didn't have to go through the task of promotion and relegation, that qualifying process every season. Ipswich, they're at the other end of the spectrum. They are the defending champs, qualifying in third, having another stellar season. Some big names coming through Ipswich last year. Gabrielle Satrick, an Australian schoolboy with the Melbourne Storm. Yep. Josiah Pahulu, who's with the Titans, of course, and also playing for the Burleigh Bears, I believe, in the Host Plus Cup now. Josiah Pahulu, he was a captain who led Ipswich to their triumph in the Allan Langer Trophy last season. And what about that barnstorming run by LJ Nonu? Ball comes loose.
Loose carry,
and the referee says knock on, just about right on halfway. Early exchanges. Allan Langer Trophy quarter-final. Ipswich 0, St Mary's 0.
Sums it up in that. They're going to be dangerous, Ipswich, anytime they handle, but the desperation there by St Mary's. They're not as big a side at first glance, albeit wearing the traditional butcher stripe jerseys.
A jumper made famous by yourself, David. Not quite in the St Mary's jumper, but it wasn't too far off.
Well, I didn't do much about making it famous. There were some great players that played for Brothers, of course, in Brisbane. That was one of the great clubs, and that's almost identical to the jersey we would wear, the white patch and the red number. So some great players played for Brothers. And I think Peter Gill, he's another one who is a Brothers player. He played for St Mary's as well, so he wouldn't even have to change jerseys. Peter Gill played with Struddy when Brothers won the 87 grand final, the year before the Broncos came in.
Of course, you left Brothers and went on to win a premiership with the Narang Roosters before flying around in helicopters for your broadcasting career, David.
Yeah, retired straight up.
Then you went on to build the Gateway.
Been busy.
You have been busy. Busy bee.
But it's good to come back and watch and commentate on these games. It's terrific to see the pathways that are offered for the kids these days.
St Mary's through Braden Scott, and the ball hits the deck there. Bodie sharply, and It'll be a changeover, of course. David Wright, former Australian International Challenge Cup winner. He did play a key role in the building of the Gateway Bridge here in Brisbane, one of the biggest, if not the biggest in Brisbane, David. You'd know, surely.
At the time, it was the biggest infrastructure project that had been done in Queensland, the second Gateway Bridge and approaches, yeah. So,
what surpassed it eventually?
Pardon?
What surpassed it eventually as the biggest project? Or is it still the biggest?
Well, it'd have to be still close, but I think that because of inflation now, the $2 billion number has probably been exceeded, yeah.
So Ipswich, Isaiah Sewer, he's causing some havoc early on, isn't he? Ipswich. Ticker now and Isaiah Murphy. One of the returning players for them in jumper number 9 for Ipswich is Tyler Peckham-Harris. He was integral in their championship victory last year. Kick right on halfway from Isaiah Murphy. And is that a little... I think it might have come off one play to the other then, David.
Yep.
Constituting either a forward pass or a knock-on.
A great opportunity now for Ipswich to go on the attack. The interesting thing, Drew, you mentioned Peckham-Harris playing in the number 9 today. He played fullback last year, of course. Was one of the gun fullbacks. So it's quite unusual for someone who's excelled at that level as a fullback to come back and play hooker. I think he's with St George next year, so maybe they've got plans in that regard to play him at hooker. He's a good player, very dangerous, the number 9.
So Ipswich, they put in the kick, and now they got another for a set of 6. Isaiah Sewer waving his magic wand on the outside. Saya Feedy. Ipswich making a statement here at Cougarai Oval. They score first. A try to the number 2, Saya Feedy, 4-0. The champs are here on quarterfinal day, and a wonderful set play from the scrum base, and Ipswich making St Mary's pay on this occasion.
Yeah, they certainly paid because they were the ones who did that little knock-on off the high kick, and it was almost too easy. Sewer it was who burnt his opposite number on the outside and then got it out to Saya Feedy. And it was almost too easy, but it just shows you the firepower that's in this Ipswich outfit if you give them a little bit of room to move. And there wasn't dummy runners. It was just Sewer being so strong. I think it might have been Rye that he troubled on the outside, the right centre for St Mary's. But that's ominous because they didn't do much other than put it through the hands, and Sewer got through the line, and he had good backup there by Saya Feedy to get across in the corner.
So a kick to come here, and the wind makes this a real tricky proposition. Only a metre or so in from the sideline. Iconic venue, Cougarai Oval, enriched in Brisbane Rugby League history. Host of the quarterfinals, the Alan Langer Trophy here today. And it was a smart kick because it was low, but in the end, distance not there. 4-0, Ipswich leading St Mary's Toowoomba.
It shows you how dangerous Ipswich can be if they get possession. That was a bit of a gift, the mistake by St Mary's from the high kick.
How about the number 4 out there, David Wright? Isaiah Sewer, he has been the best on the park after 9 minutes, that's for sure, across both sides.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand, played under 18s last year, New Zealand schools, and he's signed with the Raiders for next year, so you can see what power and poise that he holds easily around the defensive line.
So next set is your most important set. Ipswich doing a good job here. Up to halfway, they lead 4 points to 0, approaching the 10-minute mark. And now off for a scamper is Maro David. Fifth and last, Dominique Sandow. And they get it on here to LJ Nonu. Trouble here for St Mary's. And Ipswich, they're over again. This time it's Anton Nayep. And just as we thought, it was a perfect manoeuvre on the outer side for the last try. They've looked just as good coming to this broadcast side. Wonderful work from LJ Nonu He set it all up, and Anton Nayep showing good speed and even better poise. Not much room to work with. Nayep in the corner for Ipswich's second try here this afternoon.
Yeah, ran on the last tackle. The winger was back. I think it was Shepherd standing back, so it gave a little bit of room to move, and the centre and the right centre and right winger spotted that opportunity. Nonu it was, and as Drury said, it was almost a mirror image of Sua and Saifiti on the left side, and then followed up. They said, well, look, if that centre and wing pair can do it, we can do the same. And Nonu nicely through. Once it was a 6-tackle play, the defence was probably staggered a bit, and that allowed an opportunity for Nayep. And he's another player that's backed up from last year. He's a Queensland under-18 school boy. He's part of the Queensland Emerging Origin squad. He signed with Manly for next year. So he is a really good player. He didn't have to use... Well, he had a little bit of strength play he had to do to beat the defence, but here he is now. Nayep it is.
Yep, Anton Nayep. Kicking duties with Saifiti. Couldn't convert his try earlier, and he keeps this one low again, and it was accurate. Just not enough oomph on the conversion attempt. 8 points to 0. Ipswich leading St Mary's Toowoomba. 11.5 minutes gone. Ipswich looking to join Marsden and Wavell in the semi-finals, finals week 2 of the 2023 Unlanger Trophy. Of course, still to come after this one, we've got the local derby between Palm Beach, Currumbin and Keebra Park.
A little knock back there by Ipswich, so they get to fight another day after that little fumble, but that was okay. The next game, Drury, you're right, that should be a terrific game. Palm Beach, Currumbin and Keebra, they're great rivals from down there at the Gold Coast. And another little knock on. It's attention to detail that'll make the difference as you go up the ladder here with subsequent finals next week. A couple of semis, of course, and then the big final of the Langer Trophy. You cannot make those little, what I call them, lack of concentration errors. You just got to concentrate all the way. Let's see what St Mary's can do now. I'm always very wary, Drury, when you've got an 8-point scoreline after scoring 2 tries. You haven't got any of your kicks over. All that has to happen now is St Mary's to sneak in a try, and you're right back in the match, a converted try in particular. Let's see if they're good enough.
Yep.
Whoops. That's a hand back. Another little fumble in the play of the ball. We've seen that a few times today. This is the third quarter-final we've done, and I reckon that's been over a half a dozen times where players just haven't got up with the ball. No excuses at that stage. You've withstood the impact of the tackle. Just get up carefully and play it and get on with the job.
Of course, in the Host Plus Cup, the Clydesdales are back these days, the Western Clydesdale, so providing that pathway for Toowoomba local juniors and in particular players coming through a school like St Mary's Toowoomba.
Yeah, terrific opportunities. It's been a mystery to me why the Clydesdales have been out of the Queensland Cup or the Host Plus Cup for so many years. As you probably know, Drury, Toowoomba Clydesdales were in the Queensland Cup when it first started in 1996. And
here is a wonderful piece of footwork from LJ Nonu. David Wright, Nonu, and they'll get a set restart as well. He's got so much time when he gets it, as does the man the ball's going towards here on the other side, Kaisaiah Sua, and they are so dangerous in the centres, this Ipswich outfit.
Yeah, scrambling, St Mary's, there's gaps everywhere.
Now David Liotta. And that's going to hurt the late offload as Ipswich now. The number 15, very close to the line. They come towards the danger man here. And they're going to get a second try here, Ipswich. Try number 2 on that side of the field.
Well, they've been dangerous whenever they run the ball and controlled it. They're pretty much in total control. They got some big men going up the middle, standing in tackles, offloading, quick play the balls. St Mary's are in scramble mode, and if they don't move up themselves in defence, they're going to find it very difficult. As you say, Drew, the outside man, and that's what's happening they're dominating already Ipswich through a powerful forward pack, classically rolling the defence back and then moving it into the onto the edges, where the big elusive centres and wingers can do their thing with a bit of space to work in. So Ipswich showing why they're one of the top sides in the Langer Trophy. Won the competition last year and won Langer, went through undefeated, then won the Phil Hall Cup, the Queensland version, and then went on and beat Patrician Brothers Fairfield in the Australian or national, the NRL National Schoolboys final. So Ipswich, a lot of players left from that last year, but they've still got a pretty good outfit here. They're showing if they get a bit of good ball out in either right edge or left edge, they'll do some damage.
Yeah, looking so dangerous, and St Mary's, they just haven't got their hands on the football at the moment. It's a conversion unsuccessful. Of course, they had that chance, St Mary's, David, from the fresh set of 6. They're only about 25 out from their own line and tackle play number 1 or 2 rather. They come up with the error. They just can't afford to do that against a side like this Ipswich team, who are, of course, the defending Alan Langer Trophy champions.
Yep, it's going to make it difficult for St Mary's, but they're still in with a chance. I was ruining the fact that Ipswich were 8 points, 2 tries. Now they're only 12 points for 3, so they're on the scoreboard. St Mary's have still got a chance, but holding down too long. The referee not going to allow St Mary's. You can't blame them trying to play the ball up a bit, because that's where Ipswich State High School are taking maximum advantage. Big guys up the middle, quick play the balls. The whole thing flows from there. So I don't blame St Mary's for trying to slow things up at the play the ball. The referee won't have anything of it.
Yeah, referee for this one, Hamish Klein. And just on that last try scorer, they appear to have swapped sides, the wingers, David. Anton Nayep scoring that try, this time on the left side of the field, and it looks like Saifidi's come over here now on the right side.
Yeah, you're spot on, Drury, and they showed their versatility if that's the case. Not often these days players are comfortable either left or right. Normally they're one or the other, or left and right, so they're normally one or the other. A player that did love the left side of the field was Greg Inglis. He loved left side, beautiful right, fair and lovely strike. If he was forced to run back on the right side, he was not as effective at all. So a lot of players feel very comfortable either left or right. Good on you if you can switch sides, because it can be a bit unnerving to have tackles coming from opposite angles.
So St Mary's, what can they show in attack? They've got Ipswich on the back foot at the moment, inside the red zone. St Mary's, that was Brodie Hilt, the hooker. This is a chance here. Oh, wonderful bounce. They're over St Mary's. Lachlan McGrath. How about that? Game on here. And if they can convert this, there's only one try in at St Mary's with their first points. And a wonderful try there to St Mary's.
And a quick try at that. Beautiful work by St Mary's. They're realising they're up against a bigger, stronger side. So get to the...
Sam Shepherd, the try scorer, righty. Sam Shepherd, the try scorer.
Yep. Yeah, left wing. Beautiful little kick it was, I think, from Scott. Just put it in behind. As I've said a few times in commentary and even recently in other matches today, those kick tries, they're not easy. You've got to have a very skillful kick game. You've got to... The runner has to be well positioned. It's often difficult to ground the ball while it's bobbling around, so it's not easy. There's a lot of skill in it, but it's simple. They didn't have to run through a brick wall of defenders, so well done there by St Mary's. You play to your strengths and away from the opposition's strengths a lot of times, and that has done exactly what... If he kicks this and it's 12-6, on the scoreboard, they're in this match, St Mary's.
Exactly what you spoke about. It's a tough kick, though, although breeze favourable, and it looks okay off the booze. They're going to come back. Oh, you bet you it is! Braithen Scott with an outstanding conversion, 12 points to 6. Gee, what a difference a couple of minutes makes. What a difference a try can make. Sam Shepherd, the try scorer. Braden Scott with the conversion. Ipswich 12, St Mary's 6.
Yeah, well done there by St Mary's. That'll give them a lot of confidence as well. They would have been a little bit shell-shocked by 3 straight tries, but both sides making simple errors in the play the ball, and that's what's changed possession on a few occasions. So St Mary's, I'll say, well, look, we're not going to run through all these, John. You've got to do the hard yards here now. Quick play the balls and do a lot of scooting out of dummy half is good. Don't allow that defence to come up and block you out like that. Get your speed men in at dummy half and scoot out of there and steal 10 metres. It's not easy for the little guys to make distance in the middle against big men. They've got that breeze behind them. Again, there's a little man in there dodging and darting around. That's what I like there. Get out of there and scoot. Don't try and fight fire with fire. Whoa, here we go. Inside the 10 metres on the last tackle, St Mary's. Wow.
Yeah, Brody Hilt was the player there, the number 9. Did well using an Ipswich defender to his advantage and just creating some indecision. That Ipswich defensive line, you can mark him down as a big contributor for that penalty. Brody Hilt, the 9 for St Mary's.
And what he's doing there, Drew, too, he's not trying to out-muscle these guys. He's using his skills, his little stepping runs to steal a few metres.
Tap and go, righty here. I've got the breeze. Tap and go from St Mary's. Let's see if they do it again. They will. So there you go. Just mixing it up.
Yeah, I reckon with the breeze behind, not a gale. Oh, they've lost it and a penalty. Well, are they going to tap and go again? There's 20 metres on offer here. I'll be going into touch. Well, it's a bit baffling to me, but let's see if they've got a plan. I'm sure they have, and it could well be another kick try. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, Tom Fry's another one to watch in the jumper 4. You can't miss him in that fluoro green headgear for St Mary's Toowoomba. They go the outer side. Oh, brilliantly orchestrated. The pass from Judd Rye out to Pat Sanderson. Shut the gates. Sanderson. And this game has been turned on its head. And St Mary's on the brink of levelling here with 2 tries in the space of a few minutes, a couple of penalties. They elected not to kick to touch David Wright. What do we know?
What do we know? Well, they know what they're about. Beautiful work to breach that right-hand side, and then just a perfectly timed pass to Sanderson, who flashed down that wing, brought it around to improve the position, which makes it even better. And now this is as big a transformation I can remember. Well, almost in certainly any schoolboys game, but I mean, Ipswich were cruising. The big men were taking advantage. They were rolling down the field. The edges then were setting up tries at will, running through gaps, and all of a sudden 3 tries they tallied up without a kick, I might add. 12 points, and well, can you believe it? If you've just come in on this game and watched the last 5 minutes, you'd say, well, St Mary's are running hot. Well, they've had a hot 5 minutes, and credit to them, because Ipswich were physically dominant and well and truly on top. This will be a good one to get as well.
Certainly would be. Taking his time, Braden Scott. And that's now 2 from 2 for him. So 12 all. They've scored 3 tries to 2 as Ipswich, but St Mary's have levelled. There's 6 minutes or so to play here in the first half, and just adds certainly an interesting dynamic to these final 5 minutes coming up. St Mary's on the big stage here in the quarterfinals. As we've mentioned, not just a semi-final spot on the line for them. If they can win today, St Mary's, they avoid the qualification process for next year's Alan Langer Trophy with a win today over the defending premiers of the Alan Langer Trophy, Ipswich. They're the team to beat, and St Mary's are taking it to them.
It's important they don't undo their privilege. You don't go into your shell here, still playing your good footy, but get to the end of your set. Make sure you capitalise here, because if you go in at half-time against the hot shots in Ipswich, you'd have them thinking. They'd be saying, what is going on here? Now, as Ipswich driving back, they're going up a gear. Don't get flustered by them. Just get up there and get your kick. Still 5 minutes after half time, so a lot can happen. Pretty good set. They've got to the 40.
They're doing all the right things in this set, St Mary's. And they'll kick here on the last as they go high, 35 out from their own line. Yeah, wonderful strike. And you can see the bounce there. Flat, hard track. It's gone back. And not a bad result for St Mary's Toowoomba.
Yeah, good kick chase as well. They had about 7 or 8 in a nice line there that was going to make sure there wasn't any easy yards. Here comes Ipswich. This is where they think they'll be able to steamroll again. They have been on previous occasions. But I think St Mary's, they realise just how important these next 5 minutes are. 4.5 minutes up to half time.
It's massive. They've got to stay in the grind here, St Mary's. They've got to go in, don't they, at 12 all. What a win that would be for them. Sam Martin's on the 14 for Ipswich. Looking up there with Maro David.
Good ankle tap there. Last tackle play.
So last here
Gonna
through the hands, Murphy. They're looking for Sewer, I suspect. There he is on the outside, lurking. He's also got Nye up there. Gee, they're so dangerous on that left side. Well defended by St Mary's.
Very well defended. Encouraged them or allowed them to run on the last tackle, which they were blinded by the light. Ipswich, kick down into the corner, would have kept some pressure on. Now instead, another minute that St Mary's can use up possession and get it away from their own try line. They're a chance if they keep them at length, at distance from the try line.
And there's a little kick over the top here. It was a set move. Oh, wonderfully taken too by the outstretched arms of Sam Shepherd, who kicks inside, and Tate Cameron just overrunning it, but it might turn out okay. Is that Lockie Thompson coming through? Thompson has scored out of nowhere. Brilliant play by St Mary's, and this is incredible. They're going to have a first half lead by the looks of things. They've come back from 12-0, 16-12, kick to come.
Well, that's the most amazing 10 minutes of footy I've seen, and well done here by St Mary's. Again, the little kick from the halfway line, the awkward bouncing ball, then the second kick, 2 kicks in a row. Beware the second kick. And then, Drew, it looked like it was the most unlucky bounce you've ever seen. 3 players could have got a first hand on it, all of them St Mary's players, and instead Lachlan Thompson, he was the one who persevered, got a hold of it. The referee had a very good look at it. It was never in doubt from his perspective. It is now 3 tries apiece. As I've said, beware when you don't kick your goals. St Mary's now with a terrific chance for Scott to add the extras. This is right in the slot for Scott. Right foot kicker, 10 metres right of the upright. Not a huge breeze, but what there is favours him.
Does he kick this, David?
I think he's a certainty. I think he's a good thing to kick this. He has struck the ball well already. He's had a lot harder kicks than this. I'm back at him in Bury.
So Braithen Scott here. David Wright's labelled him a certainty to kick this right in the shadows of half time. Flawless today with the boot. He has David Wright's endorsement, and this to make it a 6-point lead. Braithen Scott. Yeah, perhaps a few nervous moments there for you, Righty, but Scott adds the extras. 18 points to 12. St Mary's, 18 points in a row. Lead Ipswich by 6. The defending champs in a spot of bother in the shadows of half-time, a minute to play.
Yeah, well, I was a bit nervous there, Drew. You're right, but the beauty was
That
Braithen
shades
Scott
of Ipswich
wasn't.
again.
Yeah. But Braithen Scott wasn't. He was as cool as a cucumber. Now, this is 1 minute up to half-time. Will they kick short and try and get it? No. Okay, just get a hold of this and, well, keep the hands out. Well done. They don't need any instructions from me. They know exactly what they're doing, and well done by Coach Luke Duggan to have them play to their strengths. I've loved their kicking game. It's got them 2 tries. They've also put in plenty of good play. Don't get too fancy, fellas. Keep the ball away from Ipswich up to half-time, and you'll have them thinking.
There's a little kick in there. just wanting to get it out of their own danger, and it's a great kick, isn't it? Wonderful kick. So St Mary's have played the breeze well. Ipswich will have that luxury in the second half.
Good chase too.
Cougarai Oval, windy day out here today in Brisbane's east. The Bayside, not far from the water. Ground runs from east to west as the siren goes at half time. Well, what a half of football we've seen. Still 30 minutes to play, of course. The Alan Langer Trophy quarter-final, and the defending premiers Ipswich, after leading 12-0, they'll go into half-time trailing 18 points to 12. Second half about to commence here. And it is the champs, Ipswich. They'll receive with the breeze, but they trail by 6. Could we see the defending champs on the brink of elimination? Next try crucial, St Mary's, David Wright. They trailed 12-0 early on as they regather the football here. But what stood out, it's Tom Fry who's got it, what stood out in that first half was the intelligence they played with.
Yeah, they certainly played some good footy to come back from 12-0 down. 3 tries to 0 they were down. And let's just see what happens here straight away, because this is a terrific start of the second half. If they get another one now, 4 tries in a row, that will really have Ipswich thinking.
That was Tarrant Whittingham on that previous play, now inside the 10. St Mary's, might have been Pat Muir who played that. Fresh legs on for both sides here.
Let's see if they play smart here when they're close to the try line.
Up to
Grubber again.
Scott, little one in behind. Work to do for Ipswich, but he did well there, Anton Nayep. He's having a great game.
Yeah, I think this is the battle of the coaches too. Josh Bretherton from Ipswich, he's realised the kick is a big threat to them, and Nayep got back quickly. He's a penalty now going to Ipswich, and that'll be very handy for them. They did well to hold on there, but again, that little grubber kick. And Knight got back there just in time sweeping. I think it's so important in the modern game. They all stand up and defend in the line, but when there's a kick on, you've got to get back there and defend it. And well done by Ipswich to do that. If they'd have conceded another try then, it would have taken a lot to come back. They're still now in a very, very good chance, Ipswich, to fight back.
Isaiah Sewer on this side, number 4, David. He's one to watch for Ipswich. It's the 2 centres, Sewer and Nonu. Gee, they've been excellent.
And put them in any sort of space at all, and they'll cause trouble.
Ipswich, they might have got a rocket from Josh Bretherton to break the way they've come out here. Here's Caleb Johnson who's on the field. And now here's the danger man, gets away from 1. He beats another 2 on the way to the line. Kaisaya Sewer right on cue. And Kaisaya Sewer delivers and stands tall when his team needs it the most. And a chance here for Ipswich to level proceedings.
Yeah, you're seeing here teams playing to their strength. And you can tell the coaches have already had major inputs to the strategies and approach, especially Bretherton. Good sweeping defence to cover the kick down the far end, and then Ipswich go up the other end, get a bit of a penalty and go on with, put it out to their strike weapon. And Drury called that the 2 centres have been dangerous, and Sewer was the one there that came onto the ball. Left 2 players in his wake. They just couldn't handle him, and that makes all the difference. And now the all-important kick. Ipswich are yet to convert a try, so we've got it at 18 points to 16 at the moment after that impressive try by Sewer. And the all-important kick. If they can kick, convert, and get it back to 18 all, then they're well and truly on the front foot.
Saifidi with the kicking duties once again, looking for his first successful conversion here this afternoon. They do have the windy, kicked into the breeze in the first half, and conditions slightly more favourable for Saifidi as a goal kicker in this second half. He moves in, struck it beautifully, distance not a problem. However, he just pulled it to the left a little too much. So 18-16 St Mary's with a handy lead, and well, they have come to play here, St Mary's, David Wright, and Ipswich have got a real game of football on their hands.
They sure have. They've yet to, they've scored 4 tries for 16 points. That's doing it the hard way. Awkward kick again, but this time Ipswich do get it on the full. This is where St Mary's will have to stand their ground. They've got to move up in defence. Otherwise, the steamroller will come straight over the top.
Of course, we play 30-minute halves at Alan Langer Trophy level. These boys, or schoolboys I should say, predominantly in years 11 and 12 at school. And they play in the Under-18s Mal Meninga Cup competition. Those good enough as a pathway onto the Under-21s Hastings Deering Colts, then onto Host Plus Cup, which is the Queensland Cup, and then hopefully one day onto NRL. As Ipswich asking questions again, perhaps a set restart. No, even better for Ipswich, a penalty and a chance to level here 20 metres out from the St Mary's line. They could also elect to take the tap and apply the pressure.
Yeah, they'll go from here. I think they're on the front foot, and they are.
So Ipswich, Maro, David.
Tough penalty, that one. Was around the legs, Rye, and the referee believed he hung on too long.
Brendan Ticker now. Sam Martin making a difference out there. Long pass to his halfback Isaiah Murphy. Runner on the inside. Ipswich. Martin again goes towards that outer side. On from Murphy. This time Su'a. And he's got there. In fact, it's LJ Nonu rather. We spoke about both centres, Righty. They are so dangerous. Just got to get them the ball nice and early and let them do the rest. And LJ Nonu coming up with the big play. Ipswich back out in front.
Yeah, they've stretched them to the limit, and again with such powerful centres, so hard to handle. Nonu it was, just a little bit of space. And if the big man's got space, he's got the ability to evade a couple of defenders as well. And now we're going to have Murphy attempt this conversion. Well, 5 tries for 20 points. You don't see that very often at all. And this has got more importance than what you think. This is more important than just the 2 points, I think. It would be hugely frustrating to think no conversions. Let's see if Isaiah Murphy can put this one over.
Yes, indeed. And he had a tough gig, didn't he? I know that Saifidi was none from 4 as Murphy misses, but one of his kicks was an easy assignment. It's always tough when you see a change of kicker, and he hasn't had an easy kick. But they've gone with Murphy, and same result at this stage. 5 tries for 20 points. And after scoring, as you say, 5 tries to 3, they lead by only just the 2 points. Ipswich still a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, they've got the 2 points, and that'll be 2 points in front. The key for St Mary's here is to get a bit of possession. If they don't get possession against this big, strong, powerful, hard-running side, they'll keep adding. They won't have to kick conversions. They'll just keep running in tries. So they've got to turn over possession and have a bit of their own. As they did in the first half, they were down 3 tries to 0 after 15 minutes. 12 points to 0, and came back and scored 3 tries, so it's not beyond them. Good rushing defence too. Set back Ipswich just that little bit. Otherwise, the big roller just keeps coming. Last tackle, they've got to the 5th.
Still plenty of time remaining as Martin goes to Murphy. They've had plenty of ball. Ipswich, they go all the way back now for the high kick. And takes it in goal, surely. It does. Tate Cameron from St Mary's Toowoomba. Still very much in this game, David. They'll be relieved, especially the coaching staff, that they've finally got some balls with the fullback Cameron.
Yeah, it's essential. The smaller side can't keep attempting to tackle all day. So they've conceded 2 quick tries in the second half. And now here's their chance with a little bit of ball. They did have some early ball in this second half, weren't able to go on and capitalise. But they've shown in the first half they get a little bit of ball. They've got a couple of good little trick plays in their arsenal. So value possession, and you'll stay in the arm wrestle.
Well, they certainly valued possession for the majority of the first half, St Mary's, which is what kept them in it. We saw some really effective kicks from them. Their kicking game was exemplary. Again inside the 40 with a tough one to take. And you can see there's a knock on. 6 more and the counter strike. It'll be a double knock on. But again, the kicking game of St Mary's, David, They're going to get a repeat set out of this in such a crucial time in the game when Ipswich had enjoyed a golden 5-minute period.
Yeah, kicking has been first class, and even that one they made sure, kicking from around about the halfway line, they put it up into the wind. It sat up quite nicely, made it very difficult for the winger to come across and cover it. Knocked it on instead. This is a terrific chance for St Mary's. They've shown they get near the try line. They've got the skill set to get it over the try line. See what they can do from here.
St Mary's Toowoomba. Trailing by 2 points. Hugh Howard this is.
That's not the place to go. Right up the middle of the Ipswich ruck.
And they've got some big boppers, the Ipswich side, but they're certainly fearless, this St Mary's Toowoomba outfit. There's Lockie Thompson, who scored earlier. And a penalty going the way of St Mary's now. They've got a chance to level here, David Wright. Let's see what they do.
Run it, I think.
I think they're going to take the 2. No, they're going to run it.
They
You're
need
right.
a lot of points.
You're
Another
absolutely
2 won't
right.
win it.
Yep, no, good call. Good call. Hugh Howard with the opening hit up. And now they go on here. Back rower Jet Day in the corner. And what a wise decision that was. No, he did not stay in the field to play the winger, and he's still down. Was not a lot in that.
Was that Sanderson tried to get across in the corner? A little bit of space, but good cover defence to make sure he didn't go over unhindered. And that's a vital effort there by Ipswich. They could have been in a spot of bother had they let in a try from a confidence point of view as well as the points on the board. And it just shows that once Ipswich get it, they can roll it up the field pretty quickly. So Mary's just got to hang on. They've got to just hang in there somehow.
Some big meters here from a big young fella. That was about 30 metres, that run.
It was a stampede.
This will go down as a try assist unofficially if they can score. They'll get the penalty off a big run and a really nice play the ball. So penalty right in front for Ipswich.
I'll go for Max too. More points to be had here.
Jacob Lang with the tap as he rolls up the sleeves and has a crack himself. Jacob Lang not far away.
Very close.
Did you ever play lock, David?
No, I was strictly a front rower, second rower. Not quick enough for lock in those days.
And here they come, Ipswich Sandow. Dominique Sandow gliding gracefully like a gazelle over the try line. Oh, that was majestic. And Dominique Sandow in the corner for Ipswich just to restore a little bit of breathing space for the defending premiers.
Yeah, they've got the full package. I think it was Leota that just charged at the big stampede straight up the middle of the ruck. And of course that rolls everyone back but also draws a few in. So Ipswich have also played their footy pretty smart and got it onto the edges, and if you can put it out there and you've got some pace to go with it, and Sandow was the man, then he wasn't going to be stopped. So this is how Ipswich sort things out in the second half. They've scored the first 3 tries in 12 minutes. Pretty much what they did in the first half, actually. It took them 15 to score their first 3. And then St Mary's came back. Can they, the biggest question here, Drury, is can they convert this try? 24 points on the board. They've got it! He's kicked it! At last, the first conversion.
Isaiah Murphy converts. They won't take the kicking duties off him now. Their first conversion of the afternoon, Ipswich. They didn't convert their first 5. And finally converted one 26-18. That is an important conversion as well. With just over a quarter of the game remaining, that's now an 8-point advantage. And let's not forget, St Mary's, they're running into that breeze. So perhaps at 8 points, the margin is slightly bigger than what it seems.
Yeah, well, they've got to do... Well, they were down by 12 points at this point in the first half. So they've showed that when they scored 3 tries of their own, they can come back. But I said before, you've got to get more than your share of possession, because these guys, they're bigger and stronger, and they will consistently do exactly this. Steamroll up the field and then let loose with their strong running backs.
20 metres out here, Ipswich. 26 points to 18. Scored 14 unanswered points in the second half already. Ipswich, that's gone into touch, but they won't mind that, Ipswich. And St Mary's, they'll start their set deep in their own territory. 15 and a half minutes to play.
Yeah, good work there by Jet Day. Inside with the Bulldogs. Next year, the number 11 for St Mary's came across and, powerfully made sure he ended up in touch. They needed that. If Ipswich had been allowed to camp down here with possession, they would have been hard to handle. Now, can St Mary's do what they did in their first half and come back with 3 converted tries? Well, they don't need that many at this stage. It'd be a miracle if they do, but they can already hold their heads high.
And there's a little early kick again. We saw that work to perfection in the first half. A little knock on. Who's it going to go against? Ipswich is celebrating. I don't mind that, David. They've got to try something different. St Mary's, it's worked wonders for them already in this game, and against the side, the quality of Ipswich, you've got to try something different, don't you? Particularly when your season is on the line.
Yeah, the tactics were right. Just the execution let them down there. Knock on, but it wasn't to be. Try line and plenty of room to move.
And it's on Nayep. Ooh, almost got that away to Sandow. Trouble if he did. And he might have come up with a knock on there, Lachlan Thompson, but not crazy to think that he may have also just scored a try there.
Yeah.
Saved a try, rather.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He would have been hoping to be able to just pop that blocked pass up. Wasn't able to, and here goes Ipswich again. Again, they were getting onto that outside edge. Big long pass available to them on the right side of the scrum, and that's not unusual these days. The old lock forward, he's the one who acts like a mini dummy half, and he can. They come back to the left. They've got a little trick play going.
The side of Kaisaya Sewer. Sewer's on the left, Nonu on the right. They're the danger men for Ipswich. Meanwhile, here's Shea Faonga, 19 away. Peckham Harris on the field. He could be the X factor. Juggled by Sandow. Turnover. He's knocked on. Dominique Sandow just had a little think, had a little juggle before he'd secured the football, and the error was there. And St Mary's, they live to fight on another day. Tom Fry with it. The 4 is he's driven back by some strong Ipswich defence. So St Mary's, have a look at this. It's strong defence. Oh boy, they've almost caused the error. It was a hospital pass offload. They lost a couple of metres, St Mary's, and still inside their own 10 metres, deep in the set here. Strong collision there with the number 15 for Ipswich.
I like that little dash out of dummy half. I think it might have been Jet Day who did it. That's one way to avoid the gang tackle. Just scoot out of there and get maximum territory.
They continue to throw the ball around, and this will pay off for them. Wonderful work and a kick through from Braden Scott as they turn defence into attack, Ipswich. But still, considering where they were in that set, David, they did well territory-wise, St Mary's. Ipswich reading it, and it's all happening.
Yeah, they rolled the dice then, St Mary's. They nearly got the bounce as well. It was only Sandow that just grabbed it out of the ground. Good tackle as well. Haven't given up this Jet Day. What a good game he's had, especially in the last 10 minutes or so. He's got it. There he is again, the number 11. Good play from Day.
Well, they're still in this. They're in the contest, St Mary's. They've been brave today. Still over 10 minutes to play. Last tackle. Ipswich. They go towards the LJ Nonu side. Little kick in behind by Murphy. And regathered by Ipswich. That is a try to break the hearts of St Mary's. Ipswich, the onslaught continues here in the second half. And that is now 18 unanswered points in the second half for Ipswich. Could potentially be 20.
Yeah, well, just shows you that Ipswich have got the silky skills as well. They were prepared to put that little grubber kick in. It was a nice little kick too by Murphy. And it looked like there was a 50-50 chance of St Mary's picking it up on the bounce, or Ipswich. They came through to back up. They knew it was on, was well planned. And they show that whilst they've got the power, game, they can also finesse it. And you've got to be able to do both. Obviously, to beat the big boys. And Ipswich would be pretty happy with the fact there's the trainer. You can see his hand motion there saying to Murphy, apart from kicking this conversion, which would be pretty handy, there'd be only their second conversion of the day and 2 in a row. You could see that signal to say just keep working it up the field, just roll it up there, set the platform, and then you can pick what you want to do. You can go wide or you can grab a kick, which they did then to get another try.
Conversion successful. 32 points to 18 to blow this game right open. Ipswich. $32 points to 18 inside the final 10 minutes. Do they go short here, St Mary's, off the kickoff, David? What do you reckon?
Mate, I think they've tried to kick high
It'll
into
work
the
perfectly into the wind, yeah.
They've tried to do this one a few times. Worked as on the kickoff, and there it is again.
Well, they worked that beautifully. They took the catch and just couldn't handle the bickies on that occasion.
Almost identical to the kickoff for the second half. They kicked short, got the ball, or almost. So that little kick up into the wind does work for them. But possession is everything. And now Ipswich back in control. You can't deny Ipswich. They have put in a very dominant performance, particularly in possession. 7 tries, 3 in the first half and 4 in the second. And it's been a good workout for them. Here again, this sums up. They've got some bigger, stronger lads, and that allows the initial roll on.
Anton Nayep, this young man has been brilliant. Nayep, been playing rugby league as a teenager for a number of years now, and it's showing. Anton Nayep, the winger for Ipswich State High School. Beckham Harris is on at 9 for them. As they work it up the middle, they've got bigger bodies, and they've really responded to Josh Bretherton in this second half. Now, the referee's seen a knock on. You could see him sprinting, referee Hamish Klein, from the St Mary's Toowoomba defensive line to Ipswich. Ipswich were looking to play the ball, but the referee had spotted a little knock on in the play.
I think he thought that St Mary's had actually regained after that knock on, or had got the loose ball, so he was prepared to play on straight away, but instead it came back to Ipswich. And now St Mary's, let's see if they can use some of their skill sets to get out of here. As I say, I like to scoot out a dummy half because this puts you into the jaws of the defensive line. Is to play advantage line footy. Make sure the passes don't go back in that area. They've got to come up and over the advantage line.
Well, they need to be the next to score a try, St Mary's, and as we see a penalty here, it's now or never for St Mary's Toowoomba. David, they had an interesting passage through to the quarterfinals of the Alan Langer Trophy Cup today.
Yes, they did. They were in the second tier competition. They won the G Shield up in that Darling Downs area. They were to play Marymount College, who'd won the Titans Cup, to see who would be in this particular match. But unfortunately, Marymount had to forfeit that game a week or so ago. Because of lack of, obviously had a few injuries and couldn't put together a full squad. So St Mary's have come through here with at least a fresh squad off the back of last week's forfeit, but they haven't been able to stay with the Ipswich State High School. At stripping action will give them another chance. They'd like nothing more to finish on a high. Still 6.5 minutes up to full time. They put on a bit of a blitzkrieg in the first half. Got to.
There's Jet Day. Spoke about him defensively now, showing what he's got with the ball in hand. The number 8 for St Mary's Toowoomba, Sean Alara, 7 metres out. You can see Brody Hilt there, the 9, who fires it towards that far side, a Harbour Bridge pass over the top, direct to the winger there in Sam Shepherd. Comes infield, Shepherd already scored a try earlier. Scored St Mary's' first try, in fact. Braden Scott, who's been good. Dishes to Sharpley. Haven't seen a lot of Bodie Sharpley. That was a good run by him. And now Scott. Lots of bodies in motion. Two minds the Ipswich defence at times. That's what they've got to do, St Mary's, and that was Winningham who got caught. That'll be the changeover deep in Ipswich territory.
Yeah, their tactic there, St Mary's was trying to get on the outside. There were two long passes there by Scott, looping out to one his left wing, and then a couple of rucks later back to the right. Decided to run on the last tackle. This penalty here to Ipswich will make it easy for them to get out of their own territory. They've got a commanding lead now, and they'll want to finish on a high. They've scored 7 tries. Can't do much more than that. And sets them up for a very good semi-final next week. Ipswich, good hit out for them, and from what we've seen, Drury, they've got plenty of firepower. They won the comp last year, including the national schoolboy final, but they had a lot of players change over, which is it's very cyclical, the schoolboy footy. Within a year or so, there's a changeover of players, and Ipswich have handled that pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of firepower, as you allude to, with new personnel.
It is.
Dominic Sandow, LJ Nonu, Kasaya Sua, Anton Nayep, these guys come to mind. In fact, all their outside backside feedy's been brilliant. Then you add to that the sprinkling of a little experience at this level, the likes of Peckham Harris as well. Sam Martin's been strong for them off the bench.
Yeah, no, they've been very powerful. And this is what they've done well too. They bust them through the middle, but they've also got a spread game that goes with it. They weren't able to handle that ball, and St Mary's get it.
Is that Jet Day again?
I think it was. He's been in everything day. Is that him taking it up again? Just for good measure?
Well, he is only human, David. So St Mary's, Lockie Thompson, they trail by 14. Only a few minutes to play. Fresh coming into this one, St Mary's Toowoomba, Pat Muir, the number 10. 45 metres out from the Ipswich try line. Braden Scott. Alara. Sean Alara on the last. Need a result here, St Mary's Toowoomba. Last play, 35 away. Do they go high? Yes, they do. Sky high, in fact, through Braden Scott. And well taken. Well taken by Sandow at the back. So Ipswich State High School can game manage this from here on in. Saifidi, junior Saifidi, scored the opener. Final few minutes, Ipswich State High School. They were asked some questions of them, the defending champs, qualifying in third, of course, having that historic season last year, claiming the Alan Langer Trophy for the first time. And St Mary's asked them some legitimate questions, David, today, but they've responded like champs do. And now looking to add to their tally, he's flying here, Saifidi. Saifidi outsprints everybody. And he takes it all the way. And that's his second. And that'll make the highlights reel everywhere. Saifidi, wonderful try.
And so it should. That is a very, very good winger's try. He was put into a little bit of space. He had one defender come at him after about a 10-metre run into space, and he brushed him. Another guy came at him 10 metres later, and he brushed him. And then the fullback, in desperation, tries to take him, and he was able to fend him off as well. So you can't get much better finish than what Saifidi has done there. And I think my takeaway from this is that Ipswich have got a very, very good, powerful side. Now, when they come up against some other very good, powerful sides, they've come up against a good side in St Mary's, but they didn't have the power packs to defend some of the rolling play that Ipswich has put on. When they get into semi-finals and finals, they will come up against some strength and power themselves. So they've looked good, and that's all you can only do what's in front of you. But they've got the guns there to go on and trouble other sides in the bigger matches in the last couple of weeks of the series.
Sideline conversion, hits the post. 36-18. David, what can St Mary's Toowoomba take out of their performance here this afternoon?
Look, I think they gave it everything they had, and you can expect nothing more than that. But not only did they just keep trying, they were down 12-0. They'd conceded 3 tries after 15 minutes, and they then stood their ground and scored some very tricky tries. They used their strength. When I say tricky, they used their strength as in the best abilities they've got to get those tries. So therefore, I think they've given it everything they've got. They would love nothing more to be able to get back into the Langer Trophy. They'll have to try again through the qualification process next year. They've been up in Langer Trophy before. It's a very proud school, so they've done well. But Ipswich, they're right back in the hunt. There's no doubt about it. They won the comp last year, and they've got a big changeover of talent, but they've got some pretty good talent. So Josh Bretherton, we'd be very happy again, I think, with their what some of the things they've shown they're capable of in this quarter final. And St Mary's, Lee Duggan will be pretty happy as well. He'd be proud of them as they should be. We're looking forward to what should be a good final series. And Ipswich right in the hunt.
36 points to 18 as we wait for the very last play of this match. It was 18-12 at half-time to St Mary's, 22-0 in the second half to Ipswich State High School, showing their class. There is the final tackle. Ipswich will join Marsden and Wavell in the semis. It's quarterfinals day of the 2023 Allan Langer Trophy. Full-time score here, Ipswich State High School 36, St Mary's Toowoomba 18.